All right, so today's video, we're watching a Plat 4 DPS on PC, playing Genji and Junkrat on Circuit Royale. That's a hero pool for this map. And you say, hi, I am mainly a YouTube frog, but I pop in on streams every now and then, and I like watching these type of videos. This game was my first in a month, as I had stopped playing last season to keep my sanity. Funny how muscle memory works. But then I saw that Genji was getting a mythic weapon, and I had to come back. I rose from Gold 1 to Plat 4 somehow. The gap is where I've been for pretty much the duration of Overwatch 2 to current Overwatch. However, I feel confident that I have the ability to get to Diamond. I just don't know how. The game felt fairly balanced as both teams had eliminations in the 30s and 40s. In this game, you'll see some good plays, some questionable plays, some horrendous plays, and some funny and unfortunate plays. For some reason, the enemy Mauga kept shooting me while I was deflecting. Maybe he didn't see me 2 feet in front of him. I hope all of you will have a good time, and I hope I'll get some good feedback as well as moderate roasting for bad plays. Dude, this is gonna be an interesting one. Genji on this map is definitely can work, and then it can't work. So we'll see how it goes. I'm ready. Bob, thanks for the promise. I appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it. I like you going over the top there, by the way. Good flank. That was something to keep note of for people learning Genji is like, don't go in the front there, go over the top because it's going to be way easier to go for flanks and get kills than anything else. So good job on that part. Yeah, actually looking pretty solid. Man, it's like watching me play Genji, just spam and jump the whole time. Obviously a little bit too aggro there, but that was still just a good play. So, you know, are we getting double Genji on this map? One thing I want to keep note of here for people playing now, I'll let it kind of play through. If you get rezzed by your teammate, like, yes, I have no problem with you keeping momentum going, but at the same time, if there's no momentum, don't stay there and try to force another kill. Like, give your teammates a second to reset. If you go down, you have to remember that, you know, you getting rezzed, your teammates also are taking damage and need to get healed up, and you need to wait for your team. Like, so be a little bit careful of getting rezzed and going right back in, right? Like, if we did it, I appreciate it, thank you. You know?
Hey, it's Kiko.
Let's do this. This is the part where I would love to be able to give more commentary during this, but like sometimes this is just Genji gameplay. It's just farming your blade. Like you're just kind of sitting there, just going long range left clicks, and then eventually you get to this point, but you have to like basically do that to build blade in time. Deflect. I get what you're going for, trying to stop the grav. You can deflect the grav. So, well, that was a grav. And your Doomfist felt bad and went into it. That was a grav though. Yeah. Oh, that was a grav. Yeah, I mean, so right now, one thing you're doing is you're overcommitting your cooldowns. I think you've seen that happen twice. Now, obviously, that was a weird team fight. You had to go in because there was a grav behind you. But I think right now you're just overcommitting your cooldowns a little bit too much. You don't want to ever be like cooldownless as a Genji unless you know you're going to get a kill. Like, because if you get a kill, you can get out with your dash. You have to pretty much know you're going to finish the kill to be able to overcommit. Anytime I play against a Genji who dashes in and like doesn't get the kill, it's a free kill most of the time. So. One thing I want to say about your play, good blade here though. I like this. You definitely go a little bit ahead of your team. And if there's one thing that could stop you in place on your climb to Diamond that was a good play. On like the blade itself, like getting a kill, but you sometimes take a second to make sure your team can help you, because even if your teammates aren't like, even if they're not gonna like be with you during the blade itself, if they're in range to be able to follow up and get any kills, because sometimes like Genjis will get people to like 10% HP and you just need one more shot. You know, just think about giving your teammates a little bit more time to get there. But with Genji, there's also that opportunity, and you saw opportunity, so I don't want to take that away from you. Here we go. Now, for people wondering about like the not overcommitting part, This is a part where I think Genji overcommitting is the way to do this, by the way, right? Something to put kind of here as a note is like, this is a moment of overcommitting your cooldowns is fine, right? One, your teammates are all around you, right? You have a couple people can help you. They were low HP and you're going to win the team fight, so you kind of chain that across. But you notice the difference between overcommitting into their team when your team isn't near you and like you don't have like ability to get a kill, and then when your teammate is with you a little bit, you're able to kind of have follow-up on your kills to be able to give you those dash resets. You see the difference there? Like if your teammate's with you, you get good results, and then if they're not, then you'll end up, you have to make sure you get the win. So anyway, good job here. Mechanics seem fine. I think my concern with you is going to be if you're a little bit too like, you just keep going. So far, that seems to be your play, is that you just keep going and you keep going and you keep going. So I'm just curious to see how that plays out the rest of the game. Mechanics seem fine. Like, I think mechanics you can definitely climb. But I want to see, like, how this goes. We'll see. Still waiting. Okay. Good job by the Mauga to run out of there. You get the kill. I saw the same thing you saw. You remember your teammates are here, so it's easier to make this play because you get follow-up and help. Good job, good play, good blade. Again, totally fine there. I think that was very well played. Nice job.
On my way. Hi. I am ready to take my ultimate.
Dash into a wall, unlucky. Okay, now just wait. Now just settle. Maybe go high ground a little bit. Take some time if you need to. Okay. All right, that was fine. As long as you escape out. You're not dashing in, I'm okay with that. Right, dashing out to escape, totally fine. I see what you see. Oh, I see exactly what you see. Just go in and help your teammates now with this, yeah. Yeah, this was unlucky. I've done this before, too. Does anybody ever do that where you go to dash in because you see like a play happen, and then you end up in the middle of the whole team, you miss everybody, and you go, well, whoops. Either way, though, right idea, just kind of unlucky on your target focus. Like maybe like the Ana next time because it's a safer dash into the wall and then cover, right? But again, I'm just kind of giving you a little bit of like things to work on so that way you can, you know, see some progress on that one. But that was just, yeah, that was funny. That was one of those unlucky kind of like, oh, my teammate hits a sick ultimate, let me dash in to help, and then you just miss. Been there. Ooh, nice kill. Good deflect, yeah. Okay, so chat, what was the wrong play here? So let's talk about. I knew this was gonna happen because this is exactly where the weakness in your game exists. Right here in this situation, the Mauga ults, right? You have a kill. The worst thing you can do is give up that kill. Okay, your teammates aren't gonna be able to push in yet. So what you want to do, in my opinion, is after you get the kill, get out up here and wall climb away. The amount of times this will happen in games where I'll play against a Genji, they'll get a kill here, and then rather than try to keep it going, we'll go up here is very consistent. So next time when you get the kill and this happens, this type of situation where your teammates, again, see how your teammates can follow up? Dash up, out, wait, poke from up here, maybe help kill the Mauga shield a little bit sooner, do some right clicks into it. Remember, it doesn't have as much HP as you think. Help kill that shield. Now you have a numbers advantage, 5v4, and your team and you can push in together. Again, play to survive too. Trades are cool and all, but like, you know, how many deaths are you at right now? Let's see. You're at 5. The next closest on your team is 3, to give you context. Now your teammates could win this, but again, you have Blade right now, you have Kitsune. Your team could have snowballed this and just won the rest of the way if you just played that a little bit safer. Anyway, here we go. See what happens.
Let the Kitsune guide you.
Ooh, nice. Well, that was about as free as it gets. That was very nice of their team to run into your spawn. Nice deflect. See what I mean, Jay? You see how the mechanics are good? Like, this is Plat. Those are pretty damn good mechanics, I'd say. Right? Like, that's... This just goes to show you that even like when you have really good mechanics sometimes, they're like what I would consider pretty solid mechanics. If you just like, if you don't have like a stop and go button on this, like, you know, the ability just to kind of like, just take a second, you know, red light, green light, like just, you know, just like something to just stop you in place for a second, it's good, right? So Now, obviously, it's a longer game, so we'll probably see more mistakes, and that's what we'll learn from. Okay. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't have a problem with that. Trek, thanks for the Prime sub. Appreciate it. Thank you. Remember, don't overcommit. I don't mind you deflecting here, but now you don't have any cooldowns, right? See what I mean? I really do think you need to start thinking about your cooldown management at times, because I think you play like at 100 miles per hour. Yep. Like, do you have a dash right now? There you go. You committed in, right? Yep. More to Beaver. See what I'm saying though? You overcommit too much. You know, get the kill. Don't give him a trade. Probably not till third. Okay, go. This one I'm okay with. You're going to the point, trying to go for that. I'm not going to worry about you committed in. This is just a normal tap point situation. I know you want to get the Ana. Good job. Again, you're the one that has to sit card, so you don't want to commit in. Yep, you're doing the. Oh, actually, yeah. Where are the cards? Okay, you know what? I want to talk about something. They need to listen in sports or racing. This is a finish line, right? Okay. Listen, we got to adjust the cart now, please. I need this to match up perfectly with the meters up top and where this finish line is. Okay. All right. I just realized that now. This is the finish line. And it's not the cart captured. What is this? This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. All right, we need this adjusted. Unless is it in racing rules, it's not. It has to be the whole cart past it, right? I assume not. Anytime I know racing, it's once you hit the finish line, you're on the finish line. Okay, I'm just pointing this out. Where I have 0.28 meters left, the point isn't captured, but the car is over the finish line. I'm pissed. I can't believe I just noticed this for the first time today. Changes nothing about my day, but yep. Well, yeah, same with hockey. Once the puck goes over the line, yeah. Well, actually the puck has to go over it. It's on the line, yeah. All right, here we go. All right, now blade, right? You want a blade? Here's my take. There you go. Good job. That was my take was good job. That was it. No, one reason why I like that blade was because you didn't overcommit to their team. The moment you had blade, you didn't have the cooldown, so you opted to go for the 1v1 against the Genji to be able to dash reset in. I don't have a problem with that decision making. That's a smart decision. You knew you had the upper hand and you were going to be fine to kill the Genji. You get a dash reset and you don't overcommit. I'm cool with that. Right? That seems fine. Isaac, thank you for the tier 1 preview. Thank you. Shit. This was this was a much better play by you. But now this is the next part, right? This is the part where it started to recognize the situation, right? There's an eternal timer that you need to have. You and your teammates are right here, but the longer and longer that you're here, I want you to think about how far away your teammates are going to be, okay? Your teammates have to run all the way back, all the way through here, all the way down to here just to be able to help you. Their team needs to run from these doors up here and see you from this point of view. So my take is after you clean up the kill maybe on this Genji, you and your team get out of here. Because if you stay here, you're going to lose this team fight over time, right? So just something to look at, okay? The Mercy's here too, so start to back up a little bit. Now you've overcommitted. So now you're in this weird spot where you've left your supports back there isolated. So now they're going to be over there by themselves for a second, right? So they don't have the help. But the good news is it looks like everybody else disengaged properly. So as long as your teammates did, you're fine. So ended up being kind of like a in-between of what I was looking for. I'll take it. I'll take it. You'll deflect this in front of the Maug again if you want to. You're going to get your stuff. Now look for a squishy target though, right? Maug has no cardiac overdrive, so you could go for Maug again. Played it back up. Despawn, thank you for the tier 1, or the gifted sub, appreciate it. Remember how I said sometimes you play too fast? I need you to start learning how to reset. I think sometimes you're playing too fast. Like you're not giving the team fight time to settle. You're not giving opportunity to like pretty much do anything with that. So like, yeah, like that blade looks cool, right? Yeah, I think we all can agree that looked cool. But sometimes the best Genjis are the ones that also have 4 deaths throughout the game and not 20. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get 20 deaths, But as of right now, you are still leading your team in deaths. So is there Genji. And yes, the elims are good, but this is the stuff where you're going to have inconsistency, right? Because for every game you play where you play this quick and this fast, the other team will be able to deal with it. So it's 50-50, which again, 50-50, adds that, Overwatch is 50-50. You hear that all the time. But then what happens on the days where you aren't having that pop-off moment that you normally have on Genji? Now you have a 30-70 day, right? Now you go, you have the next day after that, you go 5-10 because you deal with, those teams. But then again, okay, next day you go 10-5 because now you're playing against teams that don't handle a Genji who just keeps running at them like that. That's where your inconsistencies will come from. You need to inconsistencies come from. So you're going to be able to find how do you get that extra 2% of win rate. And that's going to be from survivability, right? I always say, when people ask me questions about OWCS, why do they run this? Why do they run that? The number one thing I always see is survivability, right? Every hero they play for the most part has a way to get out and survive. You want to self-sustain yourself. Playing like that right there, you will not be able to self-sustain yourself unless they all stack. Right? It was already kind of a rough blade to begin with, but you got a kill on Mercy. It was impressive. But even then, when you got the kill on Mercy, your reaction was to keep going in, right? With low HP and no cooldowns. It could have been as simple as you got the kill on Mercy, dashed here, got this health pack. Now you have a 1v1 with the Genji, right? But you still have bought time for your team. One of these things here with even if you don't get another kill after this, going here just to survive is going to distract this Genji and this Soldier 76, right? So then this gives your teammates up time now to possibly win this 3v2 against the Juno and the Mauga, right? And then even if they kill you in this area, they have now committed to that. And then if your teammates win this battle, then your Sigma, who just died earlier, will be back. And now your team has a numbers advantage and this card doesn't budge. Do you see that? So while sometimes it looks like it's worth getting that extra kill, how many times have we watched in pro play chat where a Genji blades realizes there's just no way they can get a kill and they just stay alive and that's it. They go, you know what? That ain't gonna happen. Learning that is by far one of the most important things in Overwatch is recognizing when, yes, I could go for this play, but if I just survive, we will win this team fight regardless, right? And that is something to look at, all right? Anyway, hope that helps to show you why sometimes going for that extra kill isn't worth it. Now, of course, I don't want you to be afraid of going for an extra kill. I just want you to recognize the situation of when it's good and bad to go for that extra kill. That one where it was just kind of like a wild blade, but your team still had even numbers. That's where you play to live and distract. So, yep. Good job. You're not going to win the team fight, but good job getting away from the Genji. Now, notice that Genji survived and you were distracted the whole time. You see what I'm saying? You don't get to finish your TikTok clip. It's a lot easier to finish a TikTok clip if you have 3 deaths in the game rather than 15. I mean, I guess technically not. You could get a sick clip on 15 deaths, but, Jack, thanks for the 18 months of the Tier 1 PJ. Thank you. Morangus and Plat. Okay, where's your cooldowns out? Good job getting out, though. But making sure you recognize that sometimes. Ana's over to your left somewhere. You heard the... Not the Ana. Ana slept somebody over to the left. I don't know who it was. Good job getting out. Okay. I just want to point out, Mauga's shield has how much HP? Like 1,000? I think it is. Is it 1,000 HP? Reinhardt's shield has more HP than Mauga ultimate. Players have no problem killing a Reinhardt shield in 3 seconds. But apparently with the Mauga ultimates out, that's it. Can't shoot at it anymore. You can't. Listen, if you're in a situation where they're not overcommitting to the ultimate, and you have nothing to do there, just shoot the Mauga ultimate. If you can break the Mauga ult, okay? If you have nothing to do there, just shoot it. Okay, let's continue on here with this Genji gameplay. All right, backing away. There you go.
We must stop the payload's progress.
Yes. Go in peace. Greetings.
All right. All right, this blade can work. I'm okay with this. Good kill. This is fine. Good job. All right, that's a Kitsune, I'd say. Right? You know? Is it 1200 HP? Yeah, and then what? Ryan Shield's like 1500 HP or something like that? I know Ryan Shield has more HP than Malgal, if I'm correct. Okay. Yep. Top left in a second, by the way. Yeah. Saw that coming. I saw that coming even without them when they were going through the walls. Like, we saw them, obviously, but, like, you could see that break off there. You know, I do want to... I didn't really have much to comment there because you were kind of standing in front of the things sometime. But something I've been doing recently with VODs is, like, listen, I'm not going to know everything about every character when it comes to, like, what you should do on certain maps. I'm kind of curious if there's any Genji players, and you can post in the YouTube comments with this. If you play Circuit Royale third point, do you find yourself sticking with your team right here at the choke the whole time? Or are you more willing to be aggressive up here to kind of pull? Because I'm wondering, like, if I should suggest that you start to do a little bit of pressure up here to kind of pull pressure away from your team. My only concern is that they would overcommit too much. But, like, would it be a good idea on third point Circuit Royale to, like, maybe sometimes kind of go over here a little bit and, like, move around, like, the high grounds, like kind of maneuver around this part of the map when you're kind of in like this neutral? I'm just wondering if like that's advice I should give, because I feel like it would be good, but at the same time, like with the way that they're shooting into like the deflect and they're playing a Malga, like it makes sense that you can farm some blade there. So I'm wondering how that is. So yeah, of course, like you might see me do this more in videos. Like one thing I'm learning is like we all have different play styles, different ways that we play stuff. So I always love to hear more feedback. I think I did that recently with the Moira VOD where I was wondering about like, do Moiras like the reversal orb? How do they use it? And I think actually in the reason people sort of commented about that, about like why they like it. So it gives me more insight too. So yeah, that's what I was thinking though. I was thinking like maybe more like in this neutral, which again, for anybody, not knowing the terminology of how I at least describe neutral, when there's no one's popping ultimates, you're just sitting there shooting at each other, nothing's happening. I kind of use that as the neutral. So like maybe during that, you go up in the high ground, like up here, right? And then you can deny some space. You can look for like, damage on the Genji, the soldier, and then you can always just dash out to your teammates to safety if you need to, or the high grounds, right? Or you can kind of like dash out this way. You have a health pack to work with. Definitely a different play style than just standing in front, but I think it could work. I think with your aggressive gameplay and how your mechanics are, you could clean up some kills. So I'm ready. Getting close, aggressive. I see. Back away completely now. Just like make this ultimate be useless, what your teammates are kind of doing. How does your team lose this? I'm trying to look. They're gonna slow play it, aren't they? And then just push up. Yep, like it's the classic every time. Oh man, this is why, chat, always be proactive in these situations. If I'm the Sigma there, I'm ulting way sooner than this. Because like you gotta recognize the situation. Yep. And now the Sigma ult to come. Yep. Chad, if you're the Sigma in the situation, make sure to ult sooner. Proactive over reactive in that situation. When you're down and like that's when you have no other ultimates at that point except for Sigma ultimate, you need to kind of bait out their ultimates. If they didn't even have any, you would have been able to win that team fight probably. So I know obviously, we're watching the Genji for feedback, but everybody can learn from these, right? Everybody can learn from these, I think. That's kind of the hope. All right, now the Junkrat. Remember we heard about Junkrat earlier? Well, it's Junkrat time. Let's go. Yeah, I know Beaver loves his Junkrat. Nice shot. I like how my analysis will be talking about the Genji stuff, and now it's like, yep, just keep doing what you're doing. Certainly throw that spam in there. There you go. Obviously, there's much more, like, whenever I play against Junkrats, the number one thing I have to worry about is the flank rats more than anything else. Like, this is kind of the default way, I will say, your ability to, like, understand when to back up at times seems to... Like, right there, you have no reason to sit on those stairwell once you start losing your teammates. So just get out so you can go back into spam. Believe it or not, not Genji spam, I guess it's, yeah. Junkrat spam can be very effective at slowing down their team in general, even when you have a disadvantage. So I would rather see you back up, you know, to get back to the corner to safety and start spamming so that way your teammates have more time to work with us. So, anyway, right idea, spamming through the side door. This is good. Good job. Right idea again. Genji behind you. Maybe put a Junkrat trap down that's like near your team. Something like to keep note of with Junkrat traps, like something you can do, and I see my teammates get rolled by this sometimes. Put like a Junkrat trap near your supports, right? Like think about it. Like if they have a Genji or they have somebody who's gonna go into your backline, like most of the time you're gonna want to like go for the supports, right? So why not put like a Junkrat trap near them? Make them have to earn like that positioning by killing your Junkrat trap, or your teammates can use it as an effective way to get peeled for. So if you don't know where to put it, that's an easy one to go with. Obviously, a lot of Junkrats will use it for themselves, which again, same concept though, right? I love how after all of that talk about Junkrat traps, this is what I love about spectating. I'm like, yeah, you know, use it for your supports, do this. Meanwhile, the Mauga goes to disengage, and the random Junkrat trap you threw at them in the middle of their team and somehow survived during all of that traps them. Love it. Absolutely love it, right? You know what? But that's probably me. As chat knows, if there's a Junkrat trap, I'm in it.
See ya. Goodbye. Sorry.
All right, nice kill. This is a very good job. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Genji's opener right now has been great. In general, on both the attacks, I've been happy with the Genji's opener. Yep, I agree. That was very nice. Again, just to point it out, I don't think this is like a mechanics issue, right? Like, I don't think this is a mechanics issue with the Genji, which is a good sign, you know? Sometimes the mechanics, like, is some of the toughest parts, right? You know, getting your aim down. You're good on that. I think you have, like, you know, a lot of Genjis like to be flashy with their play too, right? Even myself, when I play Genji, like the other day, I was playing Genji. I built a blade in a round of control. I don't want to brag. I did it though. I managed to build a blade in one singular round of control. I know what you're thinking. How does he do it? A lot of practice. You know, it is what it is. Like you know, it's all good either way. You know, not here about me. We're talking about this player here. But like the flashiness of your Genji is like is there. I can see it. You got that flashiness that you see with Genji players a lot of the time. But let's clean up the rest of the gameplay. Anyway, let's go from back to this. Was the blade good? Oh, absolutely not. No, when I did it, it was. I think I got one a limb and it was on my teammate. How that happened, I don't know. I probably baited somebody into him. Here we go. Genji, you know the Genji used cooldowns too. Yep. Now you killed the Genji, you're free. That's you, by the way. Now, when you look at that play, you go, what is this Genji doing? That's you. That's what you've been doing. You see what I mean? About don't overcommit your cooldowns if you can't get a kill or have an escape out. Otherwise, that's you on Genji. See what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to help solve, because I think you got some of the mechanics down. And let's not do that. Now, obviously, it was the other Genji who did that, who also has joined you in the high death club. Although I will say, your Junkrat saved you on that one when you don't have as many deaths. So their Genji is kind of showing you an example of what you do, but even more so. Right? Which, again, shows you that you can definitely climb out. Ooh. No, I don't. Can't answer that question. Ooh, nice deflect again. Genji committed into you. I would get out. Yes, thank you. I know that doesn't seem like a big play, but like getting out to survive there is so much better than trying to force this play. Nice job. Be careful though. You did a good job of the first part. Keep doing this. You have blade in 15%. There's the Kitsune. Nice sleep. If you get killed by that, that was just unlucky. Oh man, dude, that is like the most random sleep. There's like 4 people in front of you, and it's like okay, and then you get one shot. You said Genji diff? Yeah, that Genji popped off mechanically on that one.
Goodbye.
You know what? No one saw this, right, chat? And there you go. Good job with the win. So listen, mechanics are there. I am not worried about your mechanics. You know how to get kills as Genji, but you don't know how to set up, and I think that's going to be your problem, and you don't know how to escape out correctly. So let's get you in the habit of this. I don't want you to stop being aggressive, but I want you to find out how to escape when being aggressive. Play more for survivability right now, and you're going to see really good results. An example was that blade you had at this corner earlier in the game where you bladed in, you got 1 kill, you played to go in, you got rolled, rinse and repeat. And also, like, enough of, like, I still want you to sometimes be with your team, but I want you to think about, is it worth sticking with your team? If you can think about that and you just manage your cooldowns a little bit better, don't overcommit and give up free kills, you want to get the diamond, you're going to be in diamond. I think you have the mechanics for it. I have no issue with that. And that is the toughest part sometimes. So work on those cooldowns, stop overcommitting into their team to try to pick up an extra kill when you honestly, you just can't. Play to survive in those situations. Your death count's going to get cut in half, and get ready for this. You ready for this? The more that you survive, the more you build blade. Okay? Straight up. The more you survive, the more blades you will have. The flashier your plays will get. The more opportunity you have. If you die and go into their spawn all the time and trade 1 for 1, which again, you didn't trade 1 for 1 this game. You ended up, finishing with a pretty solid, amount of limbs. That is where you will have inconsistencies as Genji. So clean that part of your game up, and you're going to be fine. Hopefully, we gave you kind of enough examples to work on and go from there. But I guarantee you, well, I can't, again, I always say guarantee. I can't guarantee, but if you play with these mechanics and clean up that part of your gameplay, you will make it to diamond. All right? You got this. You absolutely got this. If you like the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't, leave a comment. All that helps. If you want to submit your own spectating, my Discord is where to do that. And you know what? If you want to watch more replays of different heroes, all that, and just want to enjoy them, on the bottom over here, on the left or right, I think it is, click that. It's a good one. With that being said, hope you all have an amazing day/night.